Hello, everybody. It's the Worm, and welcome back to Steins. Today, we are starting Chapter 10. Now, I don't know precisely how many chapters there are, but I believe someone at some point in the comments mentioned it. But I can't precisely remember what was said about the number of chapters. Nevertheless, I get the sense that things are coming to a head, and we may very well be getting to the final chapters here. Now, again, I don't know if this is the final chapter, but I can sort of I wouldn't be surprised if that turns out to be the case. I really don't have much to say in this opening. It is, well, we saw what the final dilemma seems to be. It may end up being the case that Okabe may have to make a decision between two people, and as we've seen throughout the entire story thus far, he is very loath to do that. He really doesn't like having to make those sorts of decisions. But now, well, he's already had to make a life and death situation in the case of Ferris's father. But that was a bit kind of distant to him. He didn't know Ferris's father very well, but it was more what that death did to Ferris more than the death itself that was really affecting Okabe. That's not to say that he didn't care about the death. He didn't like the idea of playing God with people's lives. But now this final barrier that he's coming up against, it's a whole nother deal in that it's choosing between people right in his inner circle here, whether it be Mayuri or Krisu. And of course, I'm sure it's going to end up being two separate endings. Now, I don't know if they're going to do something like one is the true ending, or if it's going to be something like there's a Mayuri ending and a Kurisu ending, and because so far there have not been any bad endings, quote unquote. I know there are some visual novels that have bad endings that aren't sort of character specific. So you could just say all the endings in the game thus far have been valid. It's just it might not be right. Essentially, it might not be right to categorize there being a true ending. I don't know yet. Maybe we'll find out. So yeah, as I said, not much else to say other than I'm nervous. I am nervous for Okabe. I'm anxious over the whole situation. So let's go ahead and start this. Give me 1 second, please. Okay. All right. Well, one thing to mention before starting, I've not paid much attention to the various names of each of the chapters, and maybe I should have. I just I noticed loading into this. This 10th chapter is called Stardust Sky, I believe. That's obviously a reminiscent of Mayuri's Stardust handshake. Now I'm kind of curious to go back and look at all the chapter titles. But anyway, I thought that was notable. Okay, let's start this. I thought that I had found the solution, that everything would be all right. But the equation was meaningless. I had solved nothing. Instead, I am left with a terrible choice. Mayuri, or Kurisu. One of them must die. Ruddy Khan is still off limits. They haven't yet repaired the hole that Suzuha's time machine made. I look down through the hole at the streets of Akiba. From up here, they look narrow and stifling. Across the way, a train rumbles by. I watch the yellow-striped cars move past. I came here because I wanted to be alone. The day before yesterday, I abruptly canceled the attempt to hack CERN. Kurisu and Daru demanded an explanation, but I just couldn't give them one. Yeah, this is at the time of recording this, the previous 2 episodes haven't gone up yet. So maybe by the time this particular episode is uploaded, someone would have answered in the comments. Last time, I was a bit confused, and I still am. He wants to... the plan is still to use the IBN to hack into CERN and delete the data, right? And that stops CERN from... Well, you know, they no longer have a reason to come after us because they don't have the data on the first email. I get that, but how does that... Does doing that action automatically move us back to a world line over 1% divergence? Because so far... Because currently, we're in a world line that's 0.5 something %. And I guess I'm getting a bit confused on... Because I know on certain world lines, some things are they're set in stone. They can't be messed with, like when certain people die, things of that nature. So, yeah, I don't know. Because obviously, Okabe's worry here is that once we delete that information, I guess suddenly we'll be over 1% divergence, and then Kurisu will be fated to die, I guess, is the idea here. Again, I'm not sure I fully understand the math there, the equation here. Let's continue. Kurisu and Daru demanded an explanation, but I just couldn't give them one. The decision has paralyzed me. 2 days later, I am still nowhere close to finding an answer. What do I do? 2 weeks ago, on July 28th, Dr. Nakabachi held a press conference in this very spot. The same day, Kurisu was murdered. Let's say we go with the plan and delete the first email I sent, the one about Kurisu's death, from CERN's database. That would return us to the beta world line where it all began. What would happen then? Okay, so this seems to answer my question. So even though we're not sending another D-mail, taking that action will change our world line, I guess. See, but that confuses me, because then if the world line is that you could just change it that easily, how would... Because presumably right now, in this 0.5 whatever % world line, Mayuri's fated to die, but Kurisu isn't. But if we delete the CERN data, suddenly we'll be moved to a new world line. I mean, that makes it seem pretty easy to change the world line. So, like, for example, why couldn't we... Why couldn't we change world lines previously? Like, say, with, I don't know, let's take the world line we were just on previously with, the Moeka world line. What if we intercepted a courier, prevented the IBN from getting to Mr. Braun, you know, and would he not kill himself then? But then I thought it was the case that because on that world line he's fated to die, he would just die somehow. You know, maybe it would be in an accident or something else. But that was set in stone. He had to die on a certain day in that world line. And yet, the plan now is to, you know, we're going to delete that data, and then the world line's going to get switched from one where Mayuri's fated to die to Karisu's fated to die. I'm sure there has to be some reason that I'm just not putting two and two together here, but just a bit confused on that. Yeah, I guess the question is why does this specific action change the world line when it feels like in all the other different world lines we've been in, no action we took would be able to do that? Maybe it's because it's a big enough change, or maybe it's because we're messing specifically with stuff related to time travel. Huh. Okay. That would return us to the Beta world line where it all began. What would happen then? According to my predictions, our friend, lab member 004, Makise Karisu, would disappear. Someone who died on July 28th cannot be alive now, on August 15th. That would defy causality. A time paradox. The world has already decided to eliminate her. The moment we erase the D-mail, Karisu will cease to exist. And so I am left with two options. Option 1. Hack CERN with the IBN 5100 and erase the first D-mail I sent, thus returning to the Beta world line. Karisu will disappear, but Mayuri will live. CERN will never build a time machine, and the future will be free. Option 2. Don't hack CERN. Keep living here on the Alpha world line. Mayuri will die, so will Moeka and FB. Karisu will likely be kidnapped by CERN, but at the very least she won't die. With her research, CERN will gain control of space-time, and the future will be a dystopia where no one is free.
どちらか選べ。だと。
And I'm supposed to choose? Ridiculous. I choke out a laugh. How am I, of all people, supposed to make that choice?
こんなの選べるわけないだろ。
There's no way. I don't really care about the future, whether it's free or ruled by CERN. I know I should care. Suzuha entrusted her wish to me. Doesn't that make it my responsibility? But still, it doesn't seem quite real. 20 years is a long time. Right now, only Mayuri and Karisu matter. I must choose which to save. If I had been given this choice back on July 28th before this all started, I probably would not have hesitated to abandon Karisu and save Mayuri. But it's not July 28th. It's August 15th. I've spent 2 long weeks with Karisu. She's one of us now, an integral part of the lab. And as I left through time again and again, she was the person I relied on most. Always calm, always thoughtful, always ready with a new hypothesis, always there to give me a push when I needed it most. I wouldn't even have the time leap machine if not for Karisu. It's thanks to her that I made it this far. After all she's done for me, There's no way I can abandon her now. But nor can I let Mayuri die. Everything I've done, I did to save her. I would give anything, even my own life, to see her safe. More than anything, I want her to live. No matter what, I won't let her die.
結局どっちも選べない。選べるわけがない。
I can't choose. I can't kill Karisu or kill Mayuri. That is what this choice comes down to.
こんな結末なのかよ。
Is this really how it ends? I drive my fist into the wire fence.
鈴葉やフェイリスやルカ子や萌えか、みんなの思いを犠牲にしてまでたどり着いたのがこんな結末なのかよ。
Suzuha, Feiris, Lukako, Moeka. Is this what I sacrificed your memories for? Is there no other option? No way to save them both? What if I used Suzuha's time machine? I could return to the Beta World line, then use her time machine to travel to July 28th. No, that won't work. The reason Suzuha leapt to 2010 was to prevent CERN from creating a dystopia. That only occurs on this world line. If I escape the Alpha world line, the future Suzuha wished for will become a reality, and she'd have no reason to leap back to 2010. Her time machine won't exist on the Beta world line, so I won't be able to use it. Alright, then what if I send Karisu a warning via D-mail? It could say, "Don't go to Dr. Nakabati's presentation." No, that won't work either. Remember, causality converges. Kurisu's death is inevitable on the Beta world line, just as Mayuri's is inevitable on this world line. No matter what I do, the world will ensure her death.
ダメだ。
There's no way. I slowly sink to the floor, with my back against the fence.
俺は助けられない。
I can't save her. I'm powerless against the will of the world. What should I do? What should I do? Maybe Mayuri doesn't die on the current world line? I canceled Moeka's D-mail. Plus, I haven't had an opportunity to check the divergence meter since. Might there be a chance? If the pattern continues, Mayuri's death has been pushed back to the night of the 17th. If Mayuri doesn't die between 7 and 8 p.m. that night, then I won't have to face this horrible decision. I know it's unlikely. I understand that from all my experiences so far. But still, I can't help but cling to that hope. Mayuri and Karisu. If I can just save them both, then I don't care if the future is ruled by CERN. I'll betray Suzuha's dream if that's what it takes. So please, let Mayuri live. To whom should I make this desperate plea? God? Fate? The world itself? Either way, I am just one insignificant human among billions. Will my prayers truly reach? I already know what the answer will be. And that knowledge, that certainty, is despair. Komima runs for 3 straight days, from the 15th to the 17th. On the last day, I go with Mayuri and stay with her from morning until Komima closes. It's not really my thing, though. And the crowd is ridiculous, so I wait off to the side with Mayuri's bags. From time to time, Mayuri appears with new bags for me to guard, and usually a snack for us to share. But I spend most of the day alone. To some extent, I'm here to escape reality, to empty my mind and forget my fears. But even when I close my eyes, I can still hear the footsteps of death approaching.
やっと帰ってこられた。
We're finally home. It's already dark by the time the bus drops us back at Akiba. Mayuri is dragging her costume case behind her. I'm carrying bags covered in moe artwork and loaded with dojinshi. These are all Mayuri's purchases, not mine. I can't believe she bought so much. I guess the reason she doesn't cosplay herself is that she's too busy shopping. We get off the bus and just stand there for a while.
マユリはこれからどうするんだ？まっすぐ家に帰るか？
What are you gonna do now? Head straight home?
あのね、ラボに行こうと思ってたんだよ。
Actually, I was thinking of going to the lab.
何か用事が？
Need something?
特にないけどね。オカリンと一緒に久々にのんびりしたいなって。
Not really. But it's been a while since I got to relax with Okarin.
ちょっとお腹が空いたからね。途中でジューシー唐揚げナンバーワンを買うの。
I'm a little hungry, so I'll buy some juicy chicken number 1 on the way. Maybe Mayuri wants a taste of normalcy again, now that the chaos of Komima has ended. I can't begrudge her that. I stifle a groan and shrug my shoulders.
じゃあ帰るか。
Back to the lab then.
ねえねえオカリン。今日はね、どうしてマユシーについてきてくれたの？
Hey, Okarin? Why did you come with my Yushi today?
これまでは一度もコミマに一緒に行ったことないよね。オカリンは萌えには興味ないもんね。
You've never come with me to Komima before. You're not interested in Moe, right?
ロボットアニメには興味はある。
I like robot anime. But not so much that I'd line up early in the morning for Komima each year, like Daru and Mayuri do.
で、どうして今日は付き合ってくれたの？
So, why did you come with me today?
それは
Well, to confirm your death. Those words pop into my head, but I quickly shake them away. Why am I so set on Mayuri dying? I want her to live, remember?
それは？
Well,
気まぐれだ。
I just felt like it.
そっか。
Oh,
うん。
suddenly silence. A downhearted frown replaces the usual smile on Mayuri's face. Did my answer upset her? But it's not like I could tell her the truth. How do you tell someone they're going to die?
ルカ子が
I frantically try to smooth things over.
コスプレして恥ずかしがっているところを見て笑ってやろうと思ったのだが来ていなくて残念だった。
I thought maybe you'd managed to get Lukako to cosplay, so I came to laugh at him. Too bad he didn't come.
ああ、うん。ルカ君、絶対大人気になっちゃうのにね。
Yeah, Luka-kun would be super popular if he did come, though.
いろんなブログに画像アップされまくってね。新聞社のニュースサイトにも載って海外にも紹介されちゃったりするよ。
People would take his picture and post it all over the internet. Then everyone in the world would see how cute he is.
そしたらルカ君は ワールドワイドなスーパースターなの。でマユシーはそれを見て遠いところに行っちゃったなーって思いを馳せるのです。
And after he became a superstar, Mayushi would see him on TV and think, wow, he's gone so far.
本当にそうなりそうだから困る。
It's scary because it's true.
オカリン、
Hey, Okarin? Suddenly, Mayuri turns around and peeks at my face as she walks backward.
今日はね、ありがとう。
Thank you for today.
なんだ突然。
Why are you thanking me?
だってね、さっきも言ったけど、オカリンと一緒にコミマ来たの初めてだもん。
Well, like I said, this is the first time Okarin's ever come to Komima with me.
マユシーは結構嬉しかったよ。
It made Mayushi really happy. Smile finally returns to Mayuri's face.
あ、でもね、次はオカリンもコスプレしてくれるともっと嬉しいかも。
Oh, but you know what would make me even happier? If you cosplay next time.
ああ、考えておく。
Yeah, I'll think about it. That's right. Don't think negative thoughts. Think about a fun, bright future.
いいの？本当に？
Wait, really? You'll cosplay for me?
マユリ自身もコスプレして参加するならな。
Only if you cosplay too.
それだけじゃなく、ルカ子とそれとクリスティーナも呼ぼう。二人にコスプレさせるよう説得しろ。
Lukako too. And Christina, of course. Convince them to cosplay first.
そこまでできたなら、真打ちとしてこの俺が狂気のマッドサイエンティスト王院京馬としてコミマに降臨しようではないか。
If you manage that, then I, the great and insane mad scientist, Oin Kyoma, will grace Komima with my august presence. The next Komima takes place this winter. We'll all be there, as if none of this ever happened. All of us, laughing and smiling together. Just imagine a future like that.
そっか、道は険しいね。
Wow, that's gonna be tough.
でもね、今ちょっと想像してみたらとっても楽しそう。
But it sounds really fun too.
それにクリスちゃんはコスプレに興味津々みたいだったし、脈あるかも。
Besides, I think Christian secretly wants to cosplay, so there's hope.
マユシ、頑張ってみるね。
Mayushi's gonna do her best. We arrive at the lab. I look up at the second floor, but there's no light in the window. Oddly enough, there's nobody here today. I've got a bad feeling about this. Is Moeka going to ambush us? On the previous world line, I forgave Moeka and Tenoji, but that has already been undone. This is a new world line. The Rounders are still alive, and they're still after the Time Leap machine.
マユリ、ここでちょっと待ってろ。
Wait here, Mayuri. I motion for her to sit and wait on the bench in front. Then I carefully check the area. I know my efforts are likely futile. But still, I want to do anything I can, anything to give Mayuri a chance, however small, of surviving on this world line. Something tells me it would be foolish to go straight up to the lab. So first I decide to check the street for any suspicious people. I walk down the street towards Kuramaibashi Dori, careful to always keep Mayuri in sight. Suddenly, a white station wagon parked at the end of the street fires its engine and takes off in our direction.
Huh?
What? I can see clearly through the front window. The man in the driver's seat is unfamiliar. But I have seen that station wagon before. It's the same one Moeka used to run us over on a previous world line. The same one Tenoja used to transport the IBN 5100. And now it's bearing down on me at full speed. I'm in the center of the road. There's nowhere to run. Station wagon flips on its high beams, instantly turning my vision white. I can't move. It's all happening too fast. I expected an ambush inside the lab. Instead, I'm facing a charging car. What do I do? I'm fine. I won't die. The world line hasn't approved that fate. No, wait. What day is it? This is the first time I've made it to the 17th. Does that mean my death is still undecided? Will I die in Mayuri's place? If that will save her, if that's what ends this, then maybe it's for the best. No, I don't want to die yet. Two contradictory emotions collide in my mind. My body doesn't know which way to turn. Will I be the one to die? Something slams into my back. I open my eyes. I'm lying on the side of the road. My whole body hurts, but I don't appear to be seriously injured. Someone saved me. I look up to see the station wagon's taillights disappearing around the corner. And there, lying in the center of the road, is Mayuri.
Mayuri!
I run to her side. Mayuri is bleeding from the head. The pavement is slick with blood. Did she protect me? But that's not what I wanted. I lift her body up in my arms. Her eyes twitch, then slowly open.
Mayuri. ごめん。俺のせいで。
Mayuri, sorry. It's my fault. Her hand wanders as if seeking something. It reaches for the starry sky. Her eyelids are heavy. They could close any second now. But still, she looks straight into my eyes. And for some reason, she smiles. Finally, Mayushi was useful to Ocarine.
何を
What? Stardusk. Handshake. Her delicate fingers grasp at the sky. But all they find is empty air. Her arm goes limp. I grab her hand before it hits the ground. Mayuri is no longer breathing. I've seen her die countless times. But this time it's too much. This time, it's all my fault. I embrace Mayuri's tattered body. Her lifeless, motionless tattered body. I clench my jaw and bite back my tears.
マユリ、ここからじゃあんまり星が見えないな。
You can't see the stars from here.
こんなのあんまりだろ。
This is too much. Why did she have to die like this? You know damn well why. The only reason this happened is because this is what the world wished for. Her death is unavoidable, the result upon which this world line converges. I knew from the beginning that this would happen, but I never imagined that she would die saving me, with a smile on her face.
やっと役に立てたって一体どういう意味なんだよなあ
What do you mean you were finally useful? Tell me, Mayuri. There is no future for Mayuri on this world line. And that brings me once again to the choice. Do I return to the Beta world line, killing Krisu? Or do I leave things as they are, and accept Mayuri's death? I can't run away. I am the one who twisted fate. I am the one who must decide. That blue sky above. I'm on the roof of Radikan, going back 56 hours with 2 time leaps. I lean against the wire fence and stretch out my legs as I looked at the sky. I wanted more time to think. That's why I came back. Last time, I spent 2 days refusing to face reality. But that is no longer an option, now that I've confirmed Mayuri's death. This time, I need to reach a decision. But how? This equation has no solution. No matter what choice I make, someone dies. From a purely utilitarian viewpoint, I should choose the Beta world line, where CERN never creates a dystopia. But it's not that simple. Not for me. There must be some other way. According to Suzuha, 2010 is a point of great divergence at the attractor field level. I think that divergence had already commenced by the time I sent the D-mail reporting Krisu's death. So, when did divergence begin? I can't say for sure, but I think it was the moment we completed the phone wave named Subject to Change. That was around the middle of July. Daru and I deemed it a failure right after completion. By the time Krisu was killed, there was already a huge divergence at the attractor field level. Now that I think about it, reading Steiner activated that day when I sent the D-mail that started it all. At that moment, every pedestrian and vehicle on the main street of Akiba suddenly vanished. That feels so long ago. But now I can finally explain it. That was the moment I shifted from the Beta world line to the Alpha world line. On the Beta world line where this all began, Suzuha didn't arrive in her time machine. Dr. Nakabachi's conference went ahead as planned, and the flow of tourists and shoppers throughout Akiba was unimpeded. Okay, pause for a second. This is the second time he said this, and I was going to bring it up later, but now that he said it twice, I'm going to bring it up right now. What does he mean Suzuha didn't arrive in her time machine? I specifically remember that it appeared on the roof, intact. It didn't appear in the building, it appeared on top of the building. And I'm pretty sure we even heard Suzuha's voice, though of course at the time, Okabe would not have recognized it. And that's another thing I'm confused about. One, he doesn't remember the time machine being there, but two, this is actually a pretty important question. Suzuha goes to the past because she wants to stop CERN, right? And so she uses the time machine that her father was making. And so we want to get to the beta world line because supposedly if we do that, according to Suzuha, CERN's not going to make a dystopia in the future. Right? Okay? Following me so far? And presumably, the reason on the beta world line we don't get a CERN dystopia is because Chrysu, the mother of time travel, dies. And so she is unable to make, the time leap machine or get kidnapped and make the improvements for CERN. However, if that's the case, why does Suzuha go to the past at all in that case? What would be her reason if CERN does not create a dystopia in the future? And of course, there's the big question. Exactly how did Chrysu die in the first place there? I remember a long time ago, I went back to listen, and we heard there was a scream that was muffled. And I remember at the time that I went back to listen to it, I think I said something like, maybe it's going to be some weird... Now, this was where I did not understand what the structure of this universe was going to be yet, and I didn't understand, the methods of time travel just yet. So I was thinking it could be that scream that we heard. It sounded a bit to me like maybe it was Okabe, and so I thought, well, maybe it's another Okabe, and at some point we're going to be time traveling, and then we're going to be, we'll be in the place of that other Okabe at that time, and it's going to be like a whole loop or something, So I'm not sure how to end this tangent I'm on here, except to say that I still have a lot of questions, and it feels like Okabe is not... He's not exactly where I'm at just yet. Okay, let's go a bit longer. But when I sent the D-mail, events changed on a huge scale. From my perspective, at least. On the current world line, Suzuha crashed her time machine into the roof of Radikan. Nakabachi's presentation was cancelled, and this part of Akiba was closed to traffic. Because I was out on the street when the world line changed, it appeared to me as if thousands of people suddenly vanished. The truth is that they were never there to begin with. Like a magician's trick, it's so obvious once you understand how it works. Okay, I just thought about it a bit more there. So I think I voiced this question previously. The question is, how come Suzuha was able to land perfectly on the roof on the beta world line, as opposed to the alpha where it was embedded in the building? Didn't Suzuha say that her father was unable to finish it? That it was only mostly completed? What if in the beta world line, her father was able to finish it completely? And thus, she was able to get a more accurate time jump. That could explain it. Of course, that raises more questions about exactly what kind of future that particular Suzuha was coming from, given that Daru was actually able to complete it. Like a magician's trick, it's so obvious once you understand how it works. The real problem is the timing of the D-mail. I moved to the Alpha World line after Chrysu died. If I had sent the D-mail before she died, then I might have been able to intervene, even now on this world line. But no, that would defy causality. I sent that D-mail because I saw Chrysu's body. That's the way it has to be. Who killed her anyway? I still don't know. It definitely wasn't suicide. What if I identify the murderer and send them a D-mail warning them off? Would that prevent her death? I mean, no one has tried to kill her on this world line, have they? Maybe there's a chance. However, to send that D-mail, I would first have to move to the beta world line. The more I think about it, the more futile it seems. I've already seen my Yuri die countless times. Every time I tried to prevent it, failed. I understand all too well. When the world desires someone's death, nothing can stop it. I can't save Karisu.
いたいた。
Huh. Speak of the devil. Alrighty. You know what? I think I'm gonna leave it there for now. I think I'm gonna leave it there. Yeah. There's lots to think about here. And I'm definitely feeling a bit drained after that scene with Mayuri, so I'm not sure if I'm ready for another huge emotional scene right after that, and this definitely has the potential to be that. So I'll call it here and give myself some time. Okay. I've been the Worm. This has been Steins Gate. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.